Welcome to another episode, everyone. Lancaster State Prison, circa 1996. A brutal attack, a couple of them, transpired between the Crips because the Crips had turned and betrayed an individual. And it was all based on jealousy and envy. Let's call him Lil C-Dog. And then his Sally, let's call him Big C-Dog. Well, he responded and retaliated in kind and ended up brutalizing and orchestrating one of the most brutal attacks ever recorded in prison history. These two individuals, Big C-Dog and Lil C-Dog, both belong to the same car, the same faction there in prison. A part of the Crip car, a part of the Crip faction. And they were all getting along just fine. Big C-Dog and Little C-Dog were in the cell together. These two individuals ended up becoming extremely close, like brothers. You will find this often behind the walls in prison, where sometimes individuals become real close with one another, because it's all about survival. You don't have a lot of love coming from the street, and you end up having love for someone in there. Y'all become tight, and y'all have one another's back. Such was the case with these two individuals. They were inseparable. Little C-Dog was about 25 years old, and Big C-Dog was about 35. Now, Big C-Dog was second in command in his car. There was one individual that was over him, and this one individual everyone catered to, but people respected Big C-Dog, Big C-Dog for many reasons. He carried himself admirably. And Lil C-Dog was more of a player type, light-skinned, long hair, and had an affinity for the ladies. There in Lancaster State Prison, all of the COs were black. The wardens, sergeants, lieutenants, everyone there is black. There was a lot of stuff coming into the prison for the black individuals there. But this one faction could not get anything going for whatever reason. Everyone there in Lancaster had something. Every car had something. Was making money in some sort of way. It was booming. But this car just could not seem to get their shit together. They had nothing. And Lil C-Dog came along. Since he was a player type, he ended up cracking one of the black female COs there. This was not uncommon. A lot of dudes there were dealing with the CO ladies there. And Lil C-Dog was no different, and she began to drop it off to him, bring it in. The Sack, the Snoop Dogg, that Beyonce, the Down Down Baby. He had it all. And he was making money. He was looking out for his car. Because these individuals were thirsty. They were starving. They had nothing. Didn't have a pot to piss in. So he was breaking them off. But it wasn't enough for them. They began to plot on Lil C-Dog, knowing that him and Big C-Dog are extremely close. He's not going to go for this, more than likely. Well, it's really no need to plot on an individual who is already looking out for you. And Lil C-Dog is not a coward, but they approach Lil C-Dog anyway, essentially telling him that the amount that he's been giving them will no longer suffice. Now, I've seen this so many times. There are different rules to this. It depends on your car, your shot caller, your ethnicity, your faction, as to how much you have to give of your stuff. Some people will say, I ain't giving nobody nothing. It just depends. That's a whole nother story. These individuals, there are no rules set in place that I know of as to how much someone is supposed to offer up from his side. They now want to set rules in place, approach Lil C-Dog and tell him he has to give them more. That is 10 of them on the yard. And these little crumbs you're giving us, it's not going to do it, bro. Everybody else on the yard, they all booming. They all out here. They all got shit going, man. What's up, man? Look out for it. You got to get us in the game. Lil C-Dog says, man, I've been on the yard for 7 or 8 months, which was true. He had not been there that long. Some of you individuals have been here for an extremely long time. How come y'all been ain't had nothing going? Don't wait till I get something going and then I'm looking out for you and you're telling me that what I'm giving you is not enough? And then you approach me aggressively. Nah, man, I'm giving y'all what I can give y'all. I got to look out for the person that's, bringing the stuff in. Everybody knew what was going on. It was no secret. He letting it be known. I got to look out for her. This is business, bro. This is not just fun. It's not a party sack. I got to return money and all of that. Got to make money. Y'all not putting nothing in the pot. I'm just looking out for y'all. Y'all just taking from me, but not giving nothing in return. And y'all complaining about that? That was not the response that these individuals had expected. Now, the shot caller was not one of the individuals that had approached Lil C-Dog. Certainly, he knew about it. Certainly, he was in on it. Certainly, he had put them up to it. Big C-Dog caught wind of this. So he let it be known immediately. Bro, bag up off my celly, bag up off my little brother. For those who want to know, if you're curious, if you're wondering, if you do something to him, I will respond. If you do something to him, I will have his back. I will attack you. I will turn on the whole car because you have no right to touch him. He has done nothing wrong. Y'all just hate. Y'all just mad. Y'all jealous because he got it popping and y'all been here on the yard for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years and have been unable to get anything going. Every other car on the yard, every race got something going. Man, everybody got something going there. Y'all the only ones walking around here looking bummy, ain't had nothing going. And then y'all finally get somebody here on the yard that's making something happen for the car, making us shine, making y'all look good. And instead of being appreciative, being thankful and grateful, y'all turning on them? Man, y'all better bag up. Big C-Dog had made it explicitly clear whose side he was on. He did not hide the fact. He disabused them of any preconceived notion that he would ride with the faction over his road dog. He and his comrade were extremely close, and Big C-Dog had fealty, character, loyalty. Just wasn't going to stand for it. Everything had cooled off and died down. Lil C-Dog continued to give him the same thing that he had already been giving them. And then one day, Lil C-Dog is smoking in the day room. This happens a lot. Nighttime day room, people out there smoking, drinking, and you blowing the smoke inside the cell door. You hanging out at your homeboy's cell. Y'all smoking, he passing it outside the door. You looking up at the tower, make sure he don't see what's going on. Police, you looking over there at the police at the podium. You hit it, pass it back under the cell, blowing inside the cell door. People do this all day. But it is dangerous because the police smell the stuff. Now they want to come hit people's cell. And if you were the one that was smoking and got someone's cell hit and he wasn't involved, he wasn't smoking. Now they didn't took his knife, took him to the hole, took his phone, even though it wasn't cell phones at this time, but whatever. People that took losses because of your recklessness of smoking out there in the day room, then yeah, there can be consequences to that. So a lot of times the OG homies would tell you, nah, man, don't smoke out there in the day room, don't do this, because if something happened, they're going to blame you. So I guess these individuals, this one faction, did sort of have a rule saying no smoking out there, don't smoke out there in the day room. But they had nothing to smoke anyway. The whole damn time they had this rule going. They just now getting something in because of Lil C-Dog. So he out there smoking. And nothing happens. The police don't smell it, come hitting cells. There's not an issue over it. But the faction just got word that he was out there smoking. They all smelled it in the day room, and that C-Dog was a part of this. And this was their opening. This was their end. They were looking for a reason to get rid of him anyway, even though that's probably counterproductive because he's the only one from your car getting something in, doing anything for you motherfucking bums. The only one. You get rid of him, you really have nothing. But their anger, their envy was so strong that it superseded their need for survival. This individual has to go. He has to go. There have been much more violations than this committed by other individuals than smoking in the day room. Again, if someone, let's say, C-Dog's out there smoking in the day room and they hit a Southsider cell and find his phone, had they had him back then, find some drugs, find a knife, Southsider goes to the hole, then yeah, people gonna be pissed. Southsiders gonna be pissed. They gonna be asking that car, that faction, the blacks, whatever, hey man, can y'all take care of this dude? And Smoke got the homie locked up in the hole. Woo, woo, woo. It can be an issue. But none of this happened. Oftentimes it doesn't happen. As I said, people are in there smoking and drinking all of the time. Now and then it can catch up to you. Depending if you got a gun, whole police on shift or whatever, he smells, what the hell? He going around hitting cells tripping. This is why they say don't do it. But that did not transpire on this occasion. Nothing happened. As is often the case. Out there smoking, drinking. Okay, cool. They just found out about it and made a big deal about it, even though nothing had happened during the situation. So they approached Lil C-Dog again and tell him that he has a DP coming for smoking in the day room. Basically, they're about to beat him down. Lil C-Dog, he basically like, nah, man, hell no. He's not willing to accept the DP. He feels like he did nothing wrong, that they're just mad and hating on him, trying to get him out of the way. He thinks that one of them wants to holler at the broad that he's messing with that's bringing it in for him, get him out the way, and so that he can, there's all kind of nonsense going on. He takes it back to Big C-Dog, who again is second in command. He runs it down to him. Big C-Dog said, bro, it's not happening, bro. He didn't do nothing wrong. He smoked in the day room, nothing happened. Man, y'all tripping, bro. Don't touch my celly. Ain't no DPs. Now, he's second in command, and he said, nah, it ain't happening. But the number one guy, particularly because Big C-Dog said no, he made the final decision and said, yeah. Not only is he going to get DP'd, he's about to be removed from the yard. So the Crip faction began to have sinister machinations. They cultivated a plan to brutalize and remove Lil C-Dog, who was not even a problem nor causing a problem within their car. He was, in fact, improving their lot. Nevertheless, when jealousy takes over, reasoning goes out of the window. They're blinded by hatred and rage from their own little homie because he's on the yard popping and he's popping it. He's probably making them look bad. Y'all been here all this time and y'all ain't had nothing going. Y'all young homie hit the yard, he popping. But instead of being grateful again, as I said, somehow they're taking umbrage to it. So the plot is in motion to remove Lil C-Dog from the yard. And they did just that. A day or so later, when Big C-Dog was not around, he was stuck inside of his cell. They caught Lil C-Dog coming back from work and stomped him out on the yard. They brutalized him. Yeah, I've seen it with my own two eyes. It was nasty, a nasty attack. I really could not believe what I was witnessing because he was one of their young soldiers, prone to violence himself, but had a propensity to make money and to look out for his older homies. I couldn't believe that they had developed so much disdain for this individual that they would brutalize him like this. He had did nothing wrong. But they did, bro. I'm talking like at least 3 of them attacked him to my recollection and brutalized him. They got him on the ground and they beating on him. Split his eye open, mouth bleeding. He was leaking, but he was fighting back. Lil C-Dog was fighting back, but he didn't really have a chance. He wasn't a big dude. And these dudes were motivated by jealousy. And that jealousy gave them extra strength. And they pulverized and demolished Lil C-Dog. It was really a sad sight because everyone on the yard had love for Lil C-Dog, and everyone on the yard knew that they were plotting on him, and everyone on the yard knew why. That they were just hating, bro. To this day, I know that shit. Period. They was hating on this dude. They had no reason. They were hating. And Big C-Dog knew that as well and had already made it explicitly clear that all bets are off. No one had better lie a hand on my little Comrade because he knew that they had just cooked up a plot, cooked up a reason to remove him. It was not authentic. It was disingenuous. They did it anyway. And when Lil C-Dog caught word of this, they ran to his cell. And they told him, bro, they just caught your cellie coming back from work and sent him out on a stretcher. This is his little brother, his Comrade. He had already warned them that he would go all out for this dude. He'd go against his shot caller. He'd go against his car because they're going against what's right. If y'all attack him, y'all doing it for no reason, bro. And I'm going to be on the right side of history. The homies are going to look at this situation and say, nah, bro, y'all was wrong. Not Big C-Dog and not Lil C-Dog. Y'all were wrong. So I'm going to defend him. He had made that clear. And when the word got back to him that his little brother had just left the yard and left a trail of blood. He began to plot immediately. He became enraged, irate. He was pacing in a cell like a raging bull. He was pondering this. He took it personal. He said, they defied what I said. They're taking me as a joke. And they brutalized my comrade for no reason. Retaliation is a must. And once Big Sea-Dog had finished cultivating his sinister machinations and his retaliatory plots, well, he responded and exercised one of the most brutal attacks that has ever transpired behind prison walls. He did it all by himself. He was by himself at that point, but he did not care. Retaliation was a must. And he did retaliate. And in part two, I'll let you know how Big Sea-Dog avenged the disturbing brutalization of Little Sea-Dog. Stay safe and stay free, people.